We got Kenny. We'll go back to Adam. Oh, is it Bob? Go ahead, Bob.
When you talk to Darian about strategy and stuff on Saturday or Sunday, whenever you do it, do you talk much about what to do on a green, white, checkered, or does it come down to that point when you have to decide 2 tires or 4?
You just have to evaluate it where you're at that point. I mean, I think a lot of it depends on how your car's driving and how it's been. Every track's going to be different. I mean, obviously a place like Atlanta where it's really wide and you got a lot of opportunity to pass because there's a lot of room. You have to take those 4 tires. You can't really take that chance of taking 2. But a place like Phoenix that's a little narrower, you have to evaluate the situation. You can't even evaluate it first thing at the start of the race. You have to wait till the end and see where your car is, see how your balance is, see what your track position is, and then you have to make that decision from there.
Kenny Roos, SceneDaily.com. When you made your first Cup start in '99, did you envision that you were going to win championships and contend for wins on a weekly basis?
No, I was just happy to be here. It was, I think it's hard to, you dream of it, but I'm not sure that it's something that when you start you can say this is what's going to happen and you can predict that that's what's going to happen. There's so many talented drivers and teams in this series that you can't start in this series and expect to have those kind of results. I think if you are, you're being kind of foolish and being more ambitious than realistic. But we've been really lucky to be with really good people for 12 years now in this series, and that's what's got us where we are.
Tony, Adam Amick, ESPN Radio. From an owner perspective, you have a split sponsorship on the 39 car between Haas Automotive and U.S. Army. Last week was Tornadoes. So you have a different sponsor on the car. Does that win provide you as an owner some leverage and helping build that sponsorship dollar coming in and, from that perspective and maybe increasing the value of the Army sponsorship and improving the dollars coming in for that team?
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, that's what you hope happens out of it. But, to us, I guess we look at it, it's, we brought a new sponsor in last year, and it was pretty cool that at Phoenix last fall is where we announced the Tornadoes sponsorship. And, Haas Automation's always been behind us 100%, and the U.S. Army's been the same, and it just happened to be the Tornadoes race that weekend. But it was cool for their second race to be on the car and get a win, and, now we want to get one for Army and get one for Haas Automation on the car too. But it was... it's pretty neat when the people from the Army called right away, and they were just as excited as if their name was on the side of the car as the primary that weekend.
Reed Spencer, Sporting News. Out of the 399 starts so far, what's your best memory?
I think still one of them has to be winning the first Brickyard 400 in '05. That was still the biggest race in my career, but I think also that very first win at Richmond and battling with Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Bobby Labonte all day, that was a race that, with that group of guys that we were racing with all day, and to lead 333 of 400 laps, that was a day I'll always remember.
Okay. Anything else for Tony? Finish up? Yeah.
Tony, just because you mentioned racing with Dale Sr., with him going into the Hall of Fame this year, can you kind of describe what it was like to race with him and any special memories you have?
You just always knew that if he was behind you, it wasn't going to be easy keeping him behind you. I mean, he was, there's a reason he got the nickname the Intimidator. I mean, that's the most obvious thing, but it really was that way. I mean, when you looked in the mirror, you were intimidated by him, and not so much you were intimidated as much as you knew that, it wasn't always going to be just your average racing with somebody else. I mean, if he got to you and if he didn't get by you in a couple corners, he was going to lean on you a little bit, and you might wreck, you might keep going, but he was gonna make it interesting, and that's what made him so special. But at the first Bud shootout that we won, we outran him there, and that was as much as I ever wanted to see that black 3 in my mirror. That was way too much stress. It was more mental stress than it was physical stress in the car. I mean, my mind was wore out after winning that race because he had such a large bag of tricks at Daytona and Talladega that watching what he was doing and trying to figure out what he was thinking and what he was trying to set up made you exhausted. Driving the car part was easy. It was just trying to mentally figure out and try to stay up to pace with what his thought process was at the time and know how to anticipate what his next move was going to be to beat him.
All right. Tony, thank you for your time. Good luck.